Hello Leo friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Leo August 2022 Astrology Must Knows Horoscope Forecast. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com. That's the interface for all the free goodies I make for you each month to help you make the most of the starry possibilities. And I have a very exciting announcement based on so many requests from you all to have additional content from me in the form of a private community. I am now doing that. So if you go to anniebastrology.com, you can find lots of more exclusive content by me in my membership site. So this report is for you if Leo is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Leo placement you're watching for. And if you're a very late degree Leo, so we'll say August 13th through the rest of the sign or 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, then I suggest you additionally listen to my Virgo report, as you very late degree friends will have a more complex read and will benefit from both readings. What is going on in birthday month, August 2022? We've got lots of must-knows, so let's just take it piece by piece. First of all, happy birthday to those of you who are having your birthdays this month, and also happy birthday to you all who are July-born Leos. It's a very exciting time when the sun in the sky gets to the point that it was at in your chart. It opens a portal for wishing. So the universe is especially receptive to your wishes at this time, hence birthday wishes. Birthday wishes are astrological. So I hope that you make all of the wishes that you want and accomplish all of the dreams that you have in this wonderful year, and that you infuse with your solar return at this time. So let's talk about lots of must-knows this month. The first big must-know is that we are in our last open period of personal planets being direct before a long flow of retrogrades, and this is very critical to align your energies to match with the natural rhythms. Okay, so from June 19th through August 21st, we have no Mercury, Venus, or Mars retrograde or shadow periods, which means that the tides are going out. So if you just kind of imagine the time when the personal planets are direct, like now, as a time when you're putting your boat out to sea, or you're putting your message in a bottle out to the water, and the tides are going out, so they're naturally just bringing everything that you're doing out further and wider. So anything that you want to do, that you want to go far and wide with minimal effort, or less effort than it would be if you weren't doing it when the tides were out, you want to try to do those things in August, especially through the 21st or so, because then the tides start to come in. And what starts to happen is you have pushback for what you're trying to push out. So the retrogrades are not a time to force things. They're more of a time to sit on the beach, repair your boat, and see what the tides bring in for you. And there are awesome possibilities that this whole retrograde flow from September through actually spring of 2023, fall for you all down under, we've got like a 6 to 7 month flow of dominating retrograde energies where lots of goodies can come in on the tides for you, but it's not the time to set your boat or message it in a bottle afloat. The time for that is still here in August, or June if you're watching this early, June 19th through August 21st, where the tides are going out, and you can have your launches, you can have your big parties and engagements and weddings. And not to say that you can't choose other days, I'm just saying that this time is more clear from the mischief of the retrogrades than we'll have in a while. So you might want to take advantage of it for things like that, investments, anything having to do with moves or changing jobs or launching a new business or launching a book or making key decisions. You'll have lots of extra support in this window, and you want to take advantage of it. Not only because the retrogrades will start bringing things back inward and backward, but also because as Mars goes retrograde and that shadow period starts in September, your oomph, your get up and go, your ambition, your fire, your zest will start to wane. And you might not have the energy you need, or if you need support from other people, they might not be showing up as much as they will be at this time. So you want to take it while it's ripe and ready. The next big must know is that besides birthdays, we have a lot of energy in Leo, and this is giving kisses to your Leo placement. So whenever we have this type of energy, we have an increase in creativity, energy involving children, fun, romance, sizzling possibilities, leadership, anything like recognition or putting you out in front of others for you or your work to be seen. particularly for Leos, this time of year, your first house is being accentuated, and this has to do with your physical body, your relationship with your body, your health, your wellness, your image, your appearance. All of these things are all under this sizzling, there's a magnetism that happens at this time when you've got all of this energy in your first house. It's a really good time to take pictures, like for personal or professional pictures. And it's also a good time to try to get the things that you have been wanting. People will be more receptive to the things that you have to say at this time. Your magnetism will be very high. And, in some cases, your energy levels and your zest, and like I said, your creativity and also your resourcefulness can be very high at this time. So another thing to take advantage of and to celebrate fully as a big must know. The next big must know is that we have the planet starting to move into Virgo and this month, and that will deepen as we get into September. And for Leo, this is a time of financial focus, okay? So this is a time where a creative idea can start to take shape, where an inspiration can turn into a manifestation, where you start evaluating your budget and your income and your sustainability, either from an environmental or a financial or an emotional or any other standpoint. This is a time where your spending might be high, and that actually could be a good thing if you are, not getting in over your head, because this month is actually a great time, better than for a while, for really big purchases, especially things made of metal, since Mars rules metal. So, cars, boats, devices, computers, anything like that. This might be a time where something that you've been wanting along those arenas may come in. And it may be something else, like a house or some other material item, or some kind of bling could actually show up in a very big way, something that you don't really need but you have wanted, and if you're in a position to get it, you might be able to do that at this time. You might see a boost to your income, but like I said, you'll likely see a boost to your spending. So if you do have more money come in, you might also want to save more money because there's some prudence with the energies of Virgo, where if you're very meticulous with the money that comes in, you can take it a lot further than if you if you don't give that detail-oriented methodology to it. But the opportunity for that is very strong. So there's this beautiful combination of sizzling zest and excitement and fun, and then also material manifestations. So it's possible that you're spending money on something that you've always wanted to do, like a bucket list thing, something that you've been wanting for you or your family or something could be coming into fruition at this time. The next big must know is that we've got, this month is kind of a breather in between eclipse seasons. So July and August are times where we're not in the 4 to 6 weeks before or after the eclipse seasons, because we're going to start getting back into that Scorpio Taurus eclipse cycle. As we get into September, there's an eclipse in October and eclipse in November, but the season starts 4 to 6 weeks before the actual eclipse. So that kind of anxiety, uncertainty, like feeling like you have your fingers stuck in an electric socket for months at a time, that's going to kind of start picking up as we get into September. So we're kind of in a breather here. But at the same time, as that's true, we also are going to have some activation of the Scorpio Taurus eclipse things, because transiting North Node is going to be conjuncted by planet Uranus, and Mars is going to cross over that space, and that's all going to oppose the South Node in Scorpio. So the transiting North Node and the transiting South Node are running along the same lines that the eclipse cycle is running through, okay? So they are part of this eclipse story for you. So the things with your stuff versus other people's stuff, your self-sufficiency versus your relationships, and for Leos, this is coming up very strongly in home and work and family, kind of like the balance there and the trade-offs there. So there's a lot of that energy that is going to actually pop open, especially towards the end of July and in the first third of August, as we have Uranus cross over the same point as this North Node, and then opposition to the South Node is happening with Mars also there. All right, so you might see something, a continuation and activation of something involving the storylines that had been processing through, about other people's money, your money, all of these things that we listed. So just kind of be aware that even though we're in the breather, there is an activation point. Now, we do have more salty aspects this month compared to sweet ones, but we do have at least 10 sweet connections of the planets that I'm looking at for this report. And although I'm not going to talk about all of the aspects this month because it's a very busy month, we are going to talk about several that are very, very relevant, especially for Leos, okay? If you want a complete list of the sweet and salty dates, what the aspects are, what you may see from them delivered into your inbox 1 month early, then go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter there. You'll also have the capacity to run a free birth chart, which will allow you to use the information in my reports in deeper ways. Okay, so first big aspect for Leo is a full moon in Aquarius. Okay, so August 11th, we've got full moon in Aquarius at 19 degrees. Now, of course, you may or may not know this, but I will let you know that Aquarius is your opposing sign. So whenever there is any activity there, this is of special notice for you, and this is going to further highlight your me-we sectors. You're getting it from the Taurus, Scorpio, eclipse cycle. You're getting it from the activation of Uranus and Mars at the, North Node there. And now you're getting it from the full moon being in your house of relationships. So in the days around the 11th, so we'll say like the 8th through the 14th, there's this fullness, completion, fruition coming, possibly drama in the house of relationships. So for better or worse, there could be a good accomplishment. You could meet someone, you could take things to the next level with somebody close to you, you could meet an important client, you could, or there could be drama or a conflict or something, but it's very likely to be highly emotional and be related to relationships. Now, it's in the sign of Aquarius, so it can also have to do with friendships or social circles or social media or anything that, with groups or communities might be highlighted there. Now, everyone will feel that full moon and those possible effects that I listed, but those of you closer to 19 degrees will have more of a direct hit in the opposition form for your Leo placement. Okay, oppositions can definitely be intense. They can have to do with you being pulled in two different directions or really getting on the same page with someone and partner and locking and loading into, work on a deeper issue or a deeper project or, just getting on the same page of accord with somebody and working hard with them, which can be very fun and very rewarding. But those of you closer to 19 degrees, so we'll say 14 degrees through 24 degrees, the closer to 19, the more direct hit you'll get. That's going to relate to August 4th through August 14th, and the closer to August 9th, the more of the direct hit from that. So the next two things that I want to talk about are supremely positive and sweet, and these have to do with Venus in Leo aspects. They're both trines, and so these are really yummy. So in the days around August 18th, we've got Venus, which rules love and beauty and money and relationships and finances and security and comfort, making the most fabulous aspect in all of astrology with Jupiter, the great expander, the great luck bringer, the benevolence, in the fire energies. So everything from ambition, inspiration, manifestation, anything having to do with, love or money, anything having to do with Leo-ruled things, children, romance, creativity, getting out in front of people, recognition, Aries, your physical body, your energy levels, all of these things have a chance to be positively boosted. And that's everybody in the zodiac has the chance for that blessing. We'll say especially August 14th through August 22nd, the closer to 18th, the more intense the energy is. And Leos will get extra special kisses. All fire signs will. But those of you close to 8 degrees, so we'll say 3 degrees through 13 degrees, the closer to 8 degrees, the more of a kiss you'll get from that particular aspect. And that's going to correspond to like July 26th through, like August 5th or 6th. And the closer to the last couple of days of July, the more of the kiss you'll get from that aspect. The next big must-know aspect is another trine with Venus and Leo, making a trine this time to Chiron. This is happening on August 24th. We'll especially feel that like August 20th through August 28th. The closer to the 24th, the more intense. And this can bring the same kind of things we talked about with comfort and security and self-esteem. And it also has a tilt towards healing. So a profound breakthrough, a dramatic solution to a previous problem, a physical healing, emotional, mental, spiritual healing, relationship healing, money consciousness healing. Something like that can come spontaneously, or from work you're doing now, or from something in the past that you could be benefiting from now, or you could be converting hardships that you had into teaching or helping other people, and that could bring you great comfort and happiness and also possibly money. So there's, this strong connection with monetizing something that you are teaching about that was hard for you or that you've come up with solutions for. So everyone in the cosmos can feel those goodies. All the fire signs will get extra kisses, and of the fire signs, anyone close to 15 degrees, so we'll say 10 to 20 degrees, the closer to 15 degrees, so that corresponds with like August 1st through August 10th, and the closer to August 5th, the more you get a kiss from that one. Now, I actually have more good news because Mars is going to go retrograde, and while we're going to talk about that in a later segment, what you need to know about that moving forward, because August is the last month while Mars has its full direct energy. And so there are certain things you want to align with those energies, and certain things that are better for the retrograde, or that you'll want to know to not be preparing to do those things during the retrograde because they won't be as well supported. So we'll talk about those lists soon. But for now, I want to mention that Mars is going to be retrograde in Gemini. We'll go retrograde from 25 degrees Gemini back to 8 degrees Gemini. So this is very positive for Leo placements because Gemini makes a 60-degree angle, which is the ingredients on a counter angle, which means that you will have all of these beautiful ingredients come to you that you then will have to make a pie with yourself, but the ingredients will be there. And so that means that the whole Mars retrograde cycle from September through March of 2023, you will have all of these kisses forwards, and then it's going backwards, and it's going forwards again. And everyone has those potentials, especially people in the Leo spectrum because of the nice angle. But those of you who have planets between 8 and 25 degrees. So we'll say again that that is like the last couple of days of July through like the 15th of August or so. We'll get the biggest triple kisses over that 6 to 7 months from Mars retrograde. So that increases the odds that the tides will bring you goodies as you sit on the shore and let things come to you instead of pushing them out. Okay, so now let's do the deep dive into what to do in August versus what to do in the retrograde time starting in September. Okay, so I'm recording this for you to help you better understand the Mars retrograde energies, to look at the dates that this full cycle will be relevant for, and to talk about the types of activities we want to align when Mars is direct versus when Mars is retrograde, and give you timelines for that so that you have the notice now that you can try to align your actions with being in sync with Mars. That's what I try to focus on, is to help you align with the natural rhythms of the universe, because when we go with the rhythms, it's much easier and much more enjoyable than if we try to push against them. So the more you know about how the rhythms work, the more you can align naturally with them. Okay, so Mars retrograde. Mars goes retrograde every 2.2 or so years, just to give you a little context. If you think back to around 2 years and 2 months ago, we were in a Mars retrograde cycle. And you can actually look up a Mars retrograde calendar of the past online and look at the times when Mars was in retrograde, just for your research to try to understand the types of energies that you experienced. And I always highly recommend writing in a journal the types of things that come up, especially as I'm helping you get educated on what Mars represents. If you pay attention to the kind of things that come up in Mars retrograde in general and for you personally, then you have your own private plan of how you're going to work with those energies, okay? So the pre-transit shadow period starts September 4th, okay? These shadow periods are very important to note, especially when we have planets that take longer. I mean, really, for any planet, the shadow period is relevant, but the longer the planet takes to do its, full orbit, the longer that pre and post shadow transit are going to be. So in these shadow periods, you start seeing a building of the types of retrograde things that we see, and the energies get stronger and stronger from the beginning of the shadow period, which is September 4th, through October 30th, which is when the actual retrograde is. But if you try to play the game, oh, should I hurry up and do my launch or my big important thing, October 17th because it's not quite retrograde, you're playing a dangerous game because, you're in the shadow period, and the more you tune in, the more you'll see how these energies are present even before the actual retrograde occurs. So we're talking about September 4th through October 30th, a building of the retrograde energies, October 30th through January 18th, 2023 for the actual retrograde, and then a starting to lighten with every day we get past January 18th and move towards March 15th of 2023. Those energies are lightening and lightening every day. So, if you have to do something and it's not quite March 15th, at least the energies are much stronger and better than, let's say, if you tried to do something, with a Mars direct type of energy, right after the retrograde ended. So we're talking about Mars going retrograde from 25 degrees of Gemini back to 8 degrees of Gemini. Okay, so now let's talk about, just focus on, well, I guess we'll just leave it there. That's fine. Okay, so through September 3rd, so that means all of August, okay, which is the month right before the energies really start to brew for retrograde, we're really focusing on this new forward movement, tide going out, anything that you want to go longer term, any major launch that you want to have a good, nice birth date. Remember, anytime you do something major, it's a birth date for that activity, and it will carry all the energies of that time. Anything that requires all the things that Mars rules, oomph, get up and go, initiation, energy levels, ambition, initiative, follow through, any of these things. If you have a project that's going to require that type of energy, yours or other people, like you need other people to show up or to collaborate with on a project, you're not the only one that's going to be feeling the retrograde energies. They also will be. So if you're trying to initiate a project that needs other people to show up with their energy and ambition and follow through, then August, up until August, so really, June 19th through all of August is like this really nice open period for all of the personal planet retrogrades. But as far as Mars is going here, anything up until through the end of August and the first couple of days of September, you're going to have a lot more energy for these types of things. Now, the aspect of Mars ruling metal also comes into play. So if you have to purchase anything made of metal, cars, devices, machinery of any kind, major lawn mowing equipment, the direct time is a great time to get the best, focus on anything with metal. And this also has to do with surgeries. Now, please hear me. Just because I'm saying try to, know that there's more energy from the perspective of Mars transits supporting surgeries, whether they're voluntary or necessary, when you've got the direct time. If you're in the retrograde and you have to have a life-saving surgery, don't worry about it. You need that and you have to do it, so don't hesitate to do something that the doctor says will be curative or that you need to prevent a bigger problem. But just to kind of have a guideline. If you know you're going to need a surgery, you'll have better support for that from the Mars perspective, through August, basically. And the same thing with haircuts, scissors, right? So if you need a new stylist or a new style, you'll have extra oomph for that through August and the first couple of days of September, tattoos, things like that, anything with the metal. If you have to put some legal, instigate legal proceedings against someone, even if you feel like you were wronged, that still is, from the astrological standpoint, an act of aggression, which is ruled by Mars. And there's more oomph and support when Mars is direct, if you have to initiate legal proceedings. Now, if you're just responding to something and it's out of your hands, you got to do whatever you got to do. But if you're the one initiating something, Mars direct has much more support there. Okay, so now when we go into Mars retrograde, and obviously I'll be talking about this more as we're actually in that time, but I just want to kind of give you a heads up so you're understanding the flow and you can kind of position your projects and your planning accordingly. So Mars retrogrades basically from September 4th through March 15th, September 4th, 2022 to March 15th, 2023, and especially strong October 30th through January 18th. We're talking about going back to old things or just work as usual, anything that you've been having to do, although you might be a little more lazy and you might be less ambitious, things as usual, editing, light, low stakes projects, even if you want to do something new, but you're not attached to the outcome. And, the biggest thing here is to not take on anything that requires a titanic commitment and follow through, because the odds are that you're going to get lazy or busy or unambitious. And so committing or over promising is a very big, warning here. But anything where you're just kind of working in the backdrop, anything with reflections and self-development and therapy, individual, couple, family, is amazing. And along those lines, dealing with anger and resentment. A lot of times when people are chronically angry and resentful, even if you've done inner work, there could be something going on with your gallbladder and your liver. Now, obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to diagnose anything. I'm just saying from the energetic standpoint, from doing thousands of live individual readings and doing horoscopes for a very long time and working with astrology medically for 20 years, I have seen when your liver and gallbladder are overburdened, a lot of times the way you are noticing that as a symptom is actually chronic anger and resentment. So if you've done inner work and you can't think of why you should be angry or resentful anymore, it's possible your gallbladder and liver need some work. And that those things may or may not show up on standard medical tests, okay? So you can do things to love your liver. Also, neurological things, Mars does additionally rule Aries, and also Mars is a co-ruler for Scorpio, so the sexual organs would be in here as well, or reproductive organs. All of those might have some things that are under the surface that need to be dealt with either energetically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or physically. This energy of stepping out of a victim mentality is very important, because a lot of times people feel resentful because they feel like something is happening to them. So just kind of exploring this topic. The same thing with reckless behaviors. I don't know that reckless behaviors are really a great idea anytime overall, either through your voice, like saying something to someone, or your deeds. But it's especially, you have to be especially careful with your head and your physical body. Oops, sorry about that. And your physical body, in Mars retrograde, and old injuries might, or issues might come up to be dealt with. It's a fantastic time for rest and staycations and vacations, enjoying the fruits of past labor, clearing up unfinished business on any level, whether it's in your yard or whether it's in your relationship. All of these things are great for the retrograde. And I have even more resources. If you find my book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe, it's actually in all major booksellers on the shelves, or you can get it online or at independent bookstores. I have my no-go checklist of, how to make decisions in Mars retrograde and the questions to ask yourself, and plus a more detailed list of the direct versus retrograde energies. But I just wanted to give you a summary so that you can understand what kinds of things are good to do in August and before for your planning purposes, and what kind of things are good to table or sort of put in your planner for, the last months of the year, September through December, and a little bit into 2023. You can also search for Annie Botticelli Mars retrograde to find a video that I've made on the topic, another video, and also I have a blog on the topic of Mars retrograde, and I also have a blog on general retrograde advice. Okay, so if you're wanting to prepare or get more information, then you can use those resources as well. And of course, continue watching my monthly horoscopes, as I will guide you through the rest of this direct process, and then all of the time we're in retrograde. Okay, so I've given you lots to work with to help you make the most of the energies this month and to help you understand the energetic patterns at work and play. And if you'd like more resources, I've got all of these here. You can additionally go to the little more button, the little arrow underneath the bottom right of the video. Click on that, and all of the links that I'm giving you here will be clickable, right? So if you're looking for reading options, including a beautiful, very detailed 45-minute audio of your birth chart for $33 from my brilliant husband, you can find that at anniebclarity.com. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. This is where you can access running a free birth chart. This is where you access my 28-day in-depth virtual coaching program called Shine for free. This is also where you'll find tons of blogs, and you get lots of other perks for being on my newsletter list. If you're looking for written horoscopes by me, always up a month early, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. If you haven't seen this site, go to it. It is so beautiful. We've got, me and my team have lots of amazing astrology-inspired blogs and healthy living blogs. We've got hypnosis for all the signs. We've got healing frequencies for all the signs. I've got the written horoscopes that I write. We have yoga for all the signs. So it's just a very beautiful, comprehensive site. If you're looking for free courses on how to manifest money and wellness, you can go to lumlife.com, my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, LUMLIFE. You can also find my astrology education courses here, including my behemoth of a master course called Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, which you can fully utilize even if you don't want to be a professional astrologer, but it certainly will get you up to the level where you could be and show you how to make your business a success. And payment plans are available there too. Now, I've also got 2 books out and more on the way. Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. You will find this on the bookshelves in all major booksellers, including all the Books A Million, all the Barnes & Nobles. It's right there on the shelf. Plus, you can get it on Amazon and through any independent bookseller. And you can find Radical Prayer on Amazon, and you can order it anywhere as well. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye!